Okay, first things first, guys. I wanted to let you know I am sick. I'm currently a little bit under the weather, so if you think my voice sounds a little bit strange, that's the reason why. Now, despite all of that, I am super excited to take a look at today's pair of sneakers. You know, if we take a look back on this year, we can tell the Jordan brand has been leaning very heavily into the Jordan 1 silhouette. We've seen a plethora of different collaborations on that model, some really hyped up colorways. Now, some people have been voicing the fact that they're feeling a little bit of fatigue with this Jordan 1 silhouette, and today's pair of sneakers may just be the start of a new wave for Jordan brand. So today we're gonna break them open, break them down, and see if that's really the case. Today we're taking a look at the Jordan 2 Off-White. Alright, so here is the box, and we have quite an unboxing experience to get into. This box is actually pretty crazy. So this still carries through the hole punch cutout motif that Off-White has been utilizing on a bunch of their sneakers. The top lid is this off-white color, and it has a huge oversized Jordan Wings logo, and then if you look at the bottom, well, that's where things get interesting. This box is completely clear plastic. Now, the interesting choice for this unboxing experience doesn't end there, so if we swing open the lid, both of these sneakers are individually wrapped in these resealable little plastic bags with the Off-White logo and branding all over it. So let's pop this one open and pull out the pair of shoes. You also get some extra tissue paper to protect these sneakers. I'm starting to feel like this is a pretty serious unboxing experience. Unwrapping the paper, and here is today's pair of sneakers, the Jordan 2 Off-White. So on this left sneaker, you can see they added some additional lacing options. You have a red colored pair of laces, and then you also have a black. And then of course on this right pair, you have the Off-White zip tie. This comes in an orange or yellowish color. This is such an interesting sneaker, and it's really interesting the kind of timing of the release of these. We've seen a bunch of different brands also getting involved in collaborating on the Jordan 2 silhouette. Union have already started working on their Jordan 2, which will be releasing next year. There's leaks and rumors of J Balvin working on a Jordan 2. Inevitably, we'll get a bunch of GR colorways as well. But can all of these collaborations really make the Jordan 2 a sneaker that a lot of people want? Can it take the place of the Jordan 1 silhouette in terms of hype? Well, let me tell you this. I think this Off-White one really does have a lot going for it, and it's a very special pair of shoes. So let's start with the release details. These dropped on November the 12th. They dropped alongside a white and red colorway. They both retail for a pretty high £203 here in the UK, or $250 if you're out in the US. Now, even though the Jordan 2 model hasn't garnered much attention in the past, this Off-White collaboration sold out instantly and was actually pretty hard to get. This is a classic strategy from sneaker brands. They pump out the really hyped up collaborations and then hit us with the GRs until it catches on. I'm not a huge Jordan 2 guy. It's never been a sneaker in my rotation. I definitely don't think it's a bad sneaker. However, again, it's just not my favorite Jordan model. So does this collaboration suddenly change my opinion? Do I suddenly like Jordan 2s now? No, I definitely don't think these look bad. In fact, I think they actually look pretty good. And I actually think Off-White did an incredible job with this collaboration. There's so much to it and some really interesting design inspiration behind this model. So the design of these obviously is based off of a cracked, worn down pair of Jordan 2s, but the interesting part is what pair of shoes they're designed off of. For the design of these, Virgil Abloh actually did something for the first time in Nike's history. Virgil Abloh actually reverse engineered a pair of Jordan 2 sneakers that Michael Jordan actually wore. This MJ worn pair of Jordans actually came from the Nike DNA archive. It was 3D scanned to give it the same visual effect that those original pairs had. That's why you get this cracking and aged look for the midsole, and obviously Michael Jordan's signature on the upper. I actually really appreciate the inspiration behind this sneaker. I mean, it literally is the closest most of us are ever gonna get to wearing a Michael Jordan worn pair of sneakers. Now, the sneakers themselves are a little bit different to, I guess, what you would expect if you've never tried a pair of Jordan 2s. First off, these are super heavy pairs of sneakers. They feel rigid, solid. Now, I will say, because of that expensive price tag, they do feel pretty premium. They do have a very solid aspect to them, very thick leather on the upper. This one has a mix of, I guess, a kind of rippled or almost a crocodile-like effect for the leather around the ankle area. And as you get around to the toe box of the sneaker, it gets a little bit softer, however still pretty rigid and thick leather. Now, what's pretty interesting about this model as well is the use of plastics throughout the upper. If you take a look at the medial and lateral side of this sneaker, you'll see some blue piping that is made of plastic. The huge heel counter around the back, that is plastic as well. And of course, the eye stays, just a small amount, but it's still plastic. At the top of the tongue, you get a huge Jordan Wings logo. That is a rubber material. The classic exposed foam that Off-White is known for is still present on this pair of sneakers. So you have the exposed foam for the tongue and all the way around the ankle area. If you take a look at the inside of this sneaker, or the medial side, you'll see the classic Off-White text. And of course, like I said, you get Michael Jordan's signature on the outside of the sneaker. Now, one thing that's a little bit annoying about this specific colorway is the fact that because the outsole is a black color, it is a little bit harder to distinguish that kind of cracking aged effect. Like, I believe that white colorway does it a lot better. It's much more apparent that it has that aged look, but on this black colorway, it's a little bit harder to see. Now, in terms of sizing and comfort for the Off-White Jordan 2, I would actually say these are relatively comfortable. Yes, they are very heavy. Yes, this outsole is pretty solid, but they do fit relatively nicely on your feet. I would say these fit true to size. I got my true to size and they fit me pretty perfectly. I actually like this collaboration a lot more than I originally thought I would. For someone who likes your sneakers to feel pretty premium, if you're a huge fan of Michael Jordan or Jordan brand in general, I think this is a pretty special collaboration. But hey, that pretty much wraps it up for the Off-White Jordan 2. Let me know what you think of this specific colorway down in the comment section. Let me know if you managed to get it, and let me know if you think the Jordan 2 is going to be the Jordan for 2022. Let me know down there. But of course, thank you so much for coming through, hanging out for another video. Thank you for liking, commenting, and of course subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one. But until then.